Sadi, may I request you to come forward, please?
Right Reverend Professor Dr. Rajendra Bilal, Honorable Bishops, distinguished guests, it is a great honor for me to be dedicating this book, Why Are We Backward, to Bishop R. Bilal today. This is 27 articles that first appeared in a magazine called Forward Press. And I had a whole series, Why Are 750 Million Indians Still Backward? So when we decided to put it together, and I have the privilege of having Dr. Ashish Alexander here, who edited it and published it, I was praying about 2 months ago, a little over 2 months ago, who deserves to be honored with this book. A person who is making a difference to the future of the backward castes in North India. And I felt that Dr. Lal is the right person who is in a critical position to make a difference to the future of our nation. So I decided to dedicate this to him, and it is quite clear. I knew nothing about this celebration, and I had not been to this campus for at least 15 years or so. So I knew nothing about the developments here, but I'd been hearing different things, and it's clearly the right decision. The whole idea of an agricultural college, agricultural institute, or university is a unique idea. Right, we're here on the banks of Yamuna and Ganga. There have been farmers here for thousands of years farming. There have been fishermen here fishing. There have been Gwalas here and Yadavs here. None of those people ever needed to study or write to catch fish or to row a boat or to grow wheat. This idea, some of you may be wondering, why is this emphasis on Dr. Lal being a student of the Bible? Well, no cultures, not even Greek or Roman culture, ever had farmers and shepherds and carpenters and fishermen reading or writing. The only exception was Israel. Every Jewish carpenter and fisherman, and several of the books of the Bibles are written by fishermen and what we will call Koris, the tent makers, or shepherds. These people learned to read and write because when they were coming out of slavery of Egypt, God, who had promised Abraham that I will make you a great nation, he gave them his law, that if you read this law, meditate upon this law, write it on your hearts, you will become a great nation. So because God had given the law which Moses had put in a chest, a wooden chest, and covered it with gold, it was called the Ark of the Covenant, and put that word of God in the heart of the nation, in the holiest of holy, every Jewish male had to learn to read. These were illiterate slaves, but if God has given you a text, you have to learn to read. And if God has commanded you to make copies of it, you have to learn to write. You begin to develop your mind, and that's why you see the word of God written on the walls of this university. So the Jews became an exception where common people began to cultivate their minds. And once the blessings of Abraham spread out to those who were not biological descendants of Abraham, but became his children in the faith, they adopted that practice of everyone must read and one must learn to read and write. And that's how, when mind began to be applied to agriculture, to dairy farming, to fishery, to technology, the world began to change. People who were spending their lives in slavery began to be emancipated, because the Bible is a book that began to be written when some slaves came out of slavery in order to teach them how to become a free and strong and great nation. Now that was the blessing that Sam Higginbottom brought to this place, this ground, that these farmers here who are poor peasants, they must cultivate their minds so that they may be liberated from their slavery. That's what this institution stands for. Now the passion of my heart is that this institution now needs to go out, and this is such an amazing thing that we have all these bishops here, because students do not need to come here to get a BA or a BSc. They should go to their local church. The professors are here. Curriculum should be created here. Curriculum should be posted online, made available on DVDs. Students should go to their church. Those churches should have academic pastors, an upgraded version of youth pastor, who are trained here, but sent to those churches to be with young people, 10, 15 young people in a village, in a mud hut, where they are worshiping the Lord, but also studying how to improve their lives, how to improve their farming, or whatever they're doing, or learn new traits and skills. This nation does not need to remain backward. India can become greatest nation on earth, because this is God's promise. God promised to Abraham that I will make you a great nation, and through you I will make all the other nations great, through your children. Now if you don't believe that, you need to go back and read the book of Genesis, and you will see that 3 times God made that promise to Abraham, and 3 times he made that promise to Ishmael, that I will make Ishmael into a great nation. That's the whole theme of healing of the nations, blessings of the nation, light of the nation, justice to the nations, hope for the nations, desires of the nations. That's what the Bible is all about. Now the technology allows us to do this. 1,000 years ago, when university movement began, if you were a university student, you couldn't go out to the market and buy a book. You had to copy a book. But you couldn't go to the market and buy paper to copy. You had to learn how to make papers to copy a book. There were very few books, only the monks read them. The monk students will come and sit at the feet of the monks with their slate. The monk will say a sentence, you will write it on your slate, memorize it, rub it off, then memorize the next sentence. So education was teacher-centered. But today, nobody needs to listen to a poor teacher, because on your cell phone, you can listen to the best teachers on the world. You can access hundreds of libraries, thousands of journals. Therefore, every church should be turned into a college classroom, and this place where Yeshu Darbar and university are so intermingled already, this is the place from where this vision needs to go out to eradicate backwardness from our nation. And for that purpose, I'd like to dedicate this book to Bishop R. Bilal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vishal Mangalwadi.